love me. Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.
All right, everyone, so we are back with another mod review. So this one is definitely one of the most requested mod reviews that has been asked of me to do. It took me a little while to get everything set up. To be completely honest with you, I had recorded this video once already. And what I've decided to do, because of what happened in that video, is make a bloopers tape of all of the embarrassing moments that Juanita has when you guys don't see them. So the stuff that doesn't end up in the video, or I end up recording again because something foolish happened. That is what happened when I recorded this the first time. I hit that stupid whistle button, and I sent the dinos going everywheres. So here we are. Take 2 on this mod review. So this one is the Annunaki Ascended mod. So this one clearly for Ascended. It is derived from the mod coming over from ASE, which is the Annunaki Genesis. So some of you who may be PC players that are coming over to ASA from ASE who are or have used mods before, you may have tried this one before. Personally, I have not tried this mod review, but like I always say, I really do love Dino Overhaul mods. I really do enjoy the challenge. So one thing that I would like to do is start going through each Dino Overhaul mod. I don't know if we'll do that in a series where I can make cut videos for you or whatnot, but my intent is to go through each and every Dino Overhaul from start to finish. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. That's enough talking out of me. So behind me, you can kind of see some benches. We are going to jump right into those now so you can see what those are. First things first, I'm just going to go into my Ingrams here so you can actually see at what levels you kind of learn these things. So you'll get your hatchets, your trank arrows, sub 20, 21. The Annunaki Workbench is the first thing that you're going to want to get yourself set up with. That is going to be at level 25. Then like your tranquilizer darts, you've got your bolts, you've got your Annunaki Forge, and then you've got your Annunaki Lab Bench. So you can see the Forge is at 80, the Lab Bench is at 82. This Lab Bench is where you're going to make the majority of the kibbles and treats that you will need to tame up some of the later tier dinos. So 82 is when you'll be able to start doing that. So I do kind of like that idea. So you can't really fluke a tame in this. You are going to have to progress appropriately and be at the appropriate level to do some of these things. So no complaints on that personally. But let's go ahead. So here is the Annunaki Workbench. So as we did see, this is going to be crafted in your inventory. Right on here. It's going to require crystal metal, a smithy. Interesting. So an already crafted smithy, hide, metal ingots, and wood. So there you go. That's what it's going to take to get to create that for you. So it's not too bad. Pretty much at that level you should be or already have acquired or in the process of acquiring some of these materials anyways. While we're in here, I will go ahead and show you the Volt. So this is going to be crafted in the Annunaki Workbench. The majority, or if not all of this stuff, I think all of it is crafted in the Annunaki Workbench. So this is going to be cementing paste, oil, metal ingots, and polymer. I do believe that is, if not exactly the same, very similar to the vanilla counterpart of it. The forge here, also going to be made in the workbench. So you've got black pearls, crystal, oil, silica pearls, cementing paste, metal ingots, and polymer. This is getting a little bit more expensive, but again, at that level, you should probably have these items. Annunaki lab bench, sorry. So this is also black pearls, crystal, metal ingots, spark powder, cementing paste, electronics, and polymer, level 82 that you can craft it, and that is going to be where you're going to craft all the important things to move yourself progressing in the right direction for this. Now, next up, or now I guess we'll go into the bench so you can actually take a look here at the different things that can be crafted. So this is where also all of the saddles that you're going to require for some of these dinos. They're not going to take vanilla saddles, not the majority of them anyway. So all saddles can be crafted in here. Your hatchets. So this is going to help you harvest seashells for silica pearls, flint from rocks, so on and so forth. You guys know the drill. These are not really any different. They do have a little bit more damage. You can see 150 for that, 150 for that. So definitely a little stronger than the vanilla counterparts. This is the spear or pike. This is contains narcotics so that you can aid in knocking some dinos out. This is probably more or less for some of your beginning tames for sure. This I'm pretty sure is not going to work to go out there and tame some of these higher tier dinos, which we will get into. So with that being said, we also have frosted metal arrows. So it's got frost on it. It's going to slow down its target on impact. So personally, I think that could be kind of good, especially if you're playing with a partner or a friend. Somebody could hit it with this to slow it down, and the other one could have the tranks ready to go to, you know, get as many shots off as they can while it's slowed. I'm assuming these do have some kind of a debuff time on them. I don't know what that is. You can see in my inventory I do have some of the arrows made so that we can shoot something and see what it does. So the next one, so they're both frost. That's why I made them, because there are two. They're both frosted metal arrows. One is blue, one is red. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if one does more, one does less, one lasts longer. I don't know. So we're gonna try them out and we'll see. Tranquilized metal arrow. So this is obviously what you're going to use to tame probably some of the later tier dinos. So it's got powerful potency and can knock out a target with ease. These are used inside the compound bow, so just the vanilla compound bow that you make in Ark, that's what it's going to use. So your forge and, like I said, your lab bench, that's all going to be made in here. Different armors for some of the dinos that we're going to talk about. So these aren't saddles, but armors. Does the same job as a saddle, but specifically these are armor. Now, moving on to the forge. Forge is pretty straightforward. It's going to require gasoline in order to power it, or a generator in its vicinity. It's going to cook up your metal, charcoal, whatever else you'd put into a forge, and it's probably, it didn't say and I couldn't find out, but I'm assuming that there's some benefit to this one versus the vanilla one. That I can see is that it's smaller, so it's not going to take up very much space or as much space as its vanilla counterpart, but I do assume that it must be doing things maybe a little bit faster, but I don't know for sure, so don't quote me on that. But if anybody knows, definitely leave a comment on the video. I would love to know if I'm wrong about anything or led anyone astray. Definitely let me know. So here is the last thing we're going to look at. Well, not second last thing, because we didn't look at the volts yet, but this is pretty much the last main part of the mod. So you can see here all the different summonsing tokens that you would make, as well as the treats that you are going to need to tame things. So you've got your badass treats. They're going to tame your badass dinos. These are all summonings tributes, so you can see them all here to summons in some of the, I guess we'll call them bosses. I'm doing air quotes, bosses, so that you can progress and go through the mod the way that you're supposed to. Last but not least, now, this is the Volt. So the Volts, I was a little bit confused about because I was trying to place them on the floor and I was getting, you know, no snap point and I couldn't figure it out. Nonetheless, all of you are probably a lot smarter than me. These go on the wall, and if you actually look at the storage space, they are obviously a lot bigger or hold more stuff than its vanilla counterpart. You don't have to have them sitting on your floor taking up space. I think they've got a nice look to them, and they definitely look pretty cool up on the wall. I like the idea of having the volts on the wall versus the ground. It's too bad that Ark in general doesn't make the volt so that you could, you know, hit R, change the variant, have it as a wall vault or one on the floor. I don't know, suggestion. just some food for thought. Okay, so that's it. Now this part of it, I apologize, it is going to require me to be standing around kind of a lot while we talk about the dinosaurs. Not all dinosaurs are tameable, so I don't have them all here for you to be able to see, but we are still going to talk about them. I had to have some notes here. Don't make fun of me, but there's a lot of information, and there was no way that I was going to memorize it all. So first things first, we're going to talk about the tier. What that tier contains, what it does, as well as whether it's a finished tier, unfinished tier, and what those stats are. So first up is the Elite Vanilla. Apologies, they are tameable, but they're not in the game yet. If I'm wrong, again, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, leave a comment. Absolutely, I would really appreciate it. But from what I read and what I have found out, it looks like none of the elite vanilla creatures are currently in the game. So this is an unfinished tier. However, they do have the golden versions. The golden versions of these elite vanilla dinos, they are not tameable. They have 7 times the stats. And you're going to kill these golden dodos to get treats to craft the following tiers, like the badass tier, for example. It's going to help you make your alpha and your drake treats and so on and so forth. These would be good really for early tame, so this is definitely the first tier you're going to get your hands into when you jump into the game for sure. They help you get around the map, and they're also going to help you gather materials and whatnot, resources. All right. Next is the zombie. So the zombie is also an unfinished tier. Maybe I'll do this. The zombie is also an unfinished tier. These ones are not tameable, so you can't tame these. You can also see that I don't have any of them around because they're not tameable. They are strong in packs, so avoid fighting them unless you have a decent creature to fend them off. They will bleed their targets by biting them, so it's going to take % off your health rapidly. And they will play Fear Evolved theme music to let you know that they are around. So if you hear that noise and you're not ready to fight them yet, I suggest you hightail it out of there. Next up is the Champion Vanilla. So again, we're doing this in order from first tier to last tier. Champion Vanilla tier is, I guess we're going to consider that kind of like the third tier. It is a finished tier. It's getting dark in the game. It is a finished tier. They are tameable, like I said. They have glowing white eyes, and they have a black and white blue color pattern. Their platform saddles allow you to build mobile bases with 1,000+ structure limit. So they have better turning speed, higher weight points, and better movement speed, which is definitely important, in my opinion, because these dinos, I have one of them over here. No, I can't get out there because I put a wall up. I have the Bronto over here. So they're rather large, so they are the type of dinos that you would put the platform saddles on. The platform saddles are made inside that Annunaki workbench like I showed you. Here is the Champion Bronto. I only spawned in one thing because they are large. And the other ones I'm pretty sure were mostly water ones. But nonetheless, here you go. Here they are. You probably, oh yeah, you can see his eyes up there. His white glowing, green, white? We'll get up here. Yeah, white glowing eyes. It looked green there, but I think it was just the saddle. And that's pretty much what they're used for. Personally, I don't know, and I don't think you have to go to this champion tier. Personally, I'm not sure that is the tier I would go to. Now, again, I could be wrong. I haven't played this one yet, but I would probably go for the one that we're about to talk about here. And that's the badass tier. So we are on tier number 4, the badass tier. Now this is your badass creatures right on over here. So I will stand. Apologies for the dark. So they have an aura to identify them. So you can see each one of these has this glowing aura around them to identify themselves. So the Doedicurus over here to my left or right, because of how I'm standing, is your mountain tier. You've got your fire tier here, your poison tier, and you've got your frozen tier ice tier, frozen tier kind of idea. So these do inflict inflame debuffs on hit, causing you to lose a percentage of your health and dealing 2 times the damage. Frost elementals are going to inflict slowness debuff, causing you to slow down. Poison elementals are going to inflict torpidity, causing torpidity to increase. These are perfect for taming, and the amount of torpidity that they deal is going to depend on the size of the dino that you tamed, that you have. Mountain elementals, they are what you're going to use for farming resources. They gain 2 times additional harvesting rates, and some may give additional resource bonuses. They also deal extra damage, and they are tamed with treats only, made in the lab bench that we looked at there. Now, next up are the alphas. I spawned in 1 alpha. He's right here. It was an RG. You can't really see the coloring. Now, the coloring on this was magenta, which is weird, and you're going to see why once I talk about it here. Now, alphas, they have their own gender colors. Red being males, pink being females. This one, pink magenta being females. This is a pink magenta, but it is male. I'm pretty sure they are referring to the coloring on their bodies and not their eyes, I think. Again, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But they are supposed to be identifiable male, female, based on their color. Alpha Gigas, Alpha Karkas, they have a rage meter, so avoid taking too much damage when you are using those. The Alpha Giga can breathe fire. They're strong, fast, and depending on the size of the alpha, some bigger alpha dinos can take down bigger, badder things like Apex and Primals if you use them correctly. They do possess a bleed damage, and they will have a chance of dropping alpha armor and saddle blueprints when you kill them. Alright, I guess I'll actually stay here. Next one is a non-tameable one. I apologize because I didn't go over the stats like I said. Badass tier, 1.5 times. It is a finished tier, and they are tameable. Alpha, 2 times is what their stats are. It is a finished tier, and they are tameable. Next up, Prime Alphas, not tameable. It is a finished tier. And I don't have what their damage is, honestly. So, these guys, the Prime Alpha Dinos, like I said, they're not tameable. They emit a red mist cloud around them, and this is going to help you identify them easier. They will play a slowed down version of the combat music. Their damage scales depend on the size of the creature, and equipping higher tier saddles can increase your survivability. And it's also best if you use health elixirs to help combat against their bleed damage, which is 10% greater than the alpha's bleed damage. Their loot quality is superior, and they also have an increased chance of getting alpha armor and saddle blueprints. Alright, next up. This one I really liked. If I was to say one thing I'm disappointed in, is that you can't shoot off them. So next tier up is the Drakes. So you can see them directly in front of me. They're kind of considered still a badass tier, but they're stronger, so they've kind of been put off by themselves. But same idea, they have an aura around them. So you've got your frost, your fire, your poison. They're all there. But the one thing I was disappointed in is you can't shoot off these guys. If I was to make one suggestion, not that my suggestions matter, but I'd really like to see some griffins get added into this mod. I think that would be a good tier or a good dino to add into one of the tiers. At least you can shoot off them. And I think a frost griffin or a fire griffin or whatever would be super cool. But that's all I have to say about that. Now, the Drakes, they are 2 times, so they are the same. No, they're a little bit stronger by 0.5 of the badass tier. They breathe elemental breaths on their targets from a really long range. Some are great for taming bigger targets throughout the arc, so I'm assuming like the one that would be dishing out torpidity, for example. Some can aid in boss fights, however, they do take more damage, so they will require a good saddle to avoid being pretty much one-shot killed. So next up here is the Apex. So actually, while we're over here, I'll go stand in front of these guys so you can actually see what they look like. Pretty nice. They look nice in the dark. Maybe it was a good time to do this. Probably not. Um, so next tier is the Apex tier. They are not tameable. It is a finished tier, and they are 3.5 times as far as the stats go. They emit a crimson mist cloud around them. They play ominous combat music, and they have to be killed in order to obtain their tokens and their heads to craft essential items needed to progress. Their loot quality is even greater than the ones above them. And it gives you a better chance of giving you alpha armor and even better quality alpha saddle blueprints. So there you go. So if you want higher tier blueprints, for example, for saddles, like you're going to make the vanilla Annunaki ones in the bench, but if you want an Ascended one or a better one, you get the idea. You're going to have to go out there and start killing some of these higher tier dinos, like the Prime Alphas, the Apex, and these other ones that we're about to get into. Also not tameable, these are primals. So primals are 7 times the stats, so they are dangerous. You cannot tame them. It is a finished tier. They can either be found on the map or summoned with a summonings tribute made inside that lab bench. Their attack inflicts health dwindling debuffs, so which majorly takes % off your health. They possess a passive debuff when you get near them. Now, each primal possesses a different type of debuff. For example, the sleep tight debuff is by the Broodmother, and that's going to slow you down and increase your torpidity. The snowy grave debuff, that is done by the Megapithecus, and that is going to slow down and drain your stamina. The volcanic condition debuff is done by the dragon, and that's going to drain a % off your health and stamina. And last but not least, the feathery fury by the Dodo Rex. That's going to drain your health and inflicts 2 times more damage. Now, killing these is going to give you high quality loot, but most importantly, this is where you will get your insignias. So they will drop insignias, and insignias are going to be used to tame your very first Uber creature, which is next up on our list. Uber creatures, I do have one here for you, but they are huge. They consist of this guy, the Dodo Rexy, the Megapithecus, the Broodmother, and the Dragon. So we went over those. Those are the ones that you can have, but because they're so large, I only have this guy here. And this guy obviously will do your Feathery Fury 1. Now, he is considered an Uber. So we're going to talk about these Ubers right now. So Ubers are 6 times the damage. They are tameable, and they are a finished tier. You can't see him. There you go. See, he's so big you can't even see him. Alright. They can only be tamed via insignias from killing the primal bosses that we just talked about. At this point in your gameplay, you're technically at endgame, as far as the Annunaki Ascended mod goes. The sole purpose of these dinos is to kill wardens to progress to the last tier of the mod. You can breed these guys to get imprinted babies and better stat boosts, which is probably recommended if you're going to take these guys in to fight wardens, which is what we're going to talk about, I think, next here. Sorry, had to click over to my notepad. So wardens are 8 times the damage. They are also not tameable. It is a finished tier. They are top hat wielding thugs. I kept that. That's obviously directly from CurseForge because I thought it was funny. They habit different parts of the biomes here on the maps. They emit a passive debuff that slows you and drains your stamina. Their attacks are deadly, and biting you will inflict a bleeding effect which takes % off your health, and their special ability dangerously drains your health by 30%. You must be well equipped with Ubers, imprinted, with good saddles, elixirs that are made in your workbench, so your health elixirs, your stamina elixirs, all that stuff is going to be important, and alpha armor to have the highest chance of survival when you're going in to fight the wardens. So, imprinted Ubers with good saddles, lots of elixirs, and alpha armor, and that should secure you a kill on the warden. Killing the wardens are going to drop their essence and tokens and warden armor that has a high armor rating and overpowered buffs. That seems pretty cool to me. It kind of reminds me of Primal Fear a little bit. Once you fight that final boss and you get that cool tech suit that does all these cool things. I'm assuming it's probably similar. Now, last, yeah, it is last. Well, no, not last. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the Celestials. These are the final tameable tier that you will see on here. They are 10 times as far as their stats go. It is a finished tier as well. Now, we're going to go over to where they are. That's these guys over here. You can see how big these are. Now, I did tame it. I did spawn in all 3 of them so you guys can all see them. And I did that because there's only 3 really that there is to talk about in this tier. So compared to their Uber counterparts, they possess godly abilities that can decimate any opponents instantly. These godly beings are equipped with tech armor and have special visual effects. Celestials come with different attributes from each other. Alright, so first up is Primordius. Primordius gives more health but does less damage. Rafis, this guy right here, he's going to use, or he has less health, does more damage, and can unleash an explosion from its inner core. And the last guy here, Elgon, I like him a little bit better only because he's smaller. These are so large. Very, very large. They take up a lot of space. But Elgon is going to have less health and less damage, but has more speed and more attack speed. So I'm assuming I can do his attack, you know, a lot faster than these other guys. Like maybe they have a cooldown. I don't know 100%. Their abilities, or their breath abilities, will inflict a burn effect that takes percentage off their opponent's health. So that, my friends, is the end of our tameable tiers here. They definitely, I really do like the way that they look. They did a really fantastic job. Yeah, they did a great job. But they are big. I mean, if we could size them down slightly, that would be okay. Maybe just a smidge. So last here is the War Chief. Now the War Chief is 13 times the stats. They are not tameable, and it is a finished tier. So these are just the mastermind of the Ark's creation and the leader of the Wardens. So that is the final. I don't know if you fight them because it doesn't say if you fight them. But it says they are the leader of the Wardens. And if we fight the Wardens, I guess we fight the War Chiefs as well. Alright. Now, without further ado, we're going to try out these arrows before we end it to see what they're about. But before I actually do that, bear with me here 2 seconds because I'm going to change the time of day. Apologies, everyone, but it's just too dark. Alright, and I won't find any sort of dino that I will be able to shoot. So I have blue ones in the thing right now. Let's see. Do we have speed through here? Those are NPCs. We need to find something. Alright, Parasaur, it's you. I apologize, but you are the victim today. Now, don't make fun of my shooting abilities. Anybody? Yep, missed. So this is the blue frost arrow. Oh. Well, we didn't actually get to see because... Alright. What do we have? Oh, there's a Theory. Raptor. Maybe we could do this Theory. Hopefully this guy doesn't die. I don't know. I just wanted to see, like, did it have, like, a debuff timer? Or not a debuff, like a... Now, that's supposed to slow them down. I don't see that there's a timer. I don't know if he seems that slow either. No. That's the blue one? Well, let's try the red one then. I thought this was gonna be cooler. No offense. But I don't see. These aren't slowing him down at all. I don't know. It says it's supposed to slow them down, but it doesn't look like it's being slowed down. I don't know. Maybe it's only working on Annunaki creatures. I'm not 100% sure. Chances are it's something I'm doing wrong, probably. For sure. Yeah, definitely. All right, everyone. So that technically concludes the Annunaki Ascended mod review. I think they've done a fantastic job. I personally can't wait to try it. I know some of you are probably already in the middle of it. Some of you may have finished it. Some of you may be thinking about doing it. But nonetheless, I'm very excited about what it brings. It does seem like a lot of the tiers are completed, with the exception of like 2 or 3, maybe 2. I think it was 2. And that's pretty much it. So they're hard at work. Definitely expect with any of these Dino Overhaul mods, lots of updates as they stay on top of it and they add new things and maybe take away some things or tweak some things. So keep that in mind when you play any of the Dino Overhaul mods when you're here over on Ascended. They are brand new. Hats off to all the developers out there and the developer of this mod. You have done a fantastic job. And I do believe everybody is enjoying the challenge of the Annunaki Ascended mod. So I do appreciate everybody who comes out, who watches the video, who requests videos, who comments on the videos, who like the videos. Anyone who has purchased any memberships as of lately, I do appreciate each of you guys supporting the channel and supporting me to be able to provide you guys content. It's definitely a huge help, so I do appreciate all of you. And I appreciate everybody who watches, comes to the live streams, all of that. It all helps in a huge way. I will definitely leave a link to the Discord in the description of the video. We do have some Ark ASA servers. So any of you, they are there for subscribers and Discord members. So if any of you guys are interested, definitely hit the Discord link in the description of the video and come on over to hang out in the Discord. Ask for any of the server information. Again, one more time, I cannot express how much I appreciate you all, and I will see you all in the next one.